Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth LooneyCon that we have ever had. Glad to see that there's some engagement going on in the comments as well as watching the live stream. Um, welcome to opening ceremonies. Today, we're going to go over some of the things that are going on with the convention. This time around, we decided to expand a little bit into the lore of the characters, as well as kind of nail down a little bit more on our theming. As you can see on screen right now, we've got a brand new logo, and I recently revamped the entire website so that we can have that. The vendors will be up later today so that you can check out our amazing vendors. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord server to see some of the panelists will be on that in our convention center category. I'll show that on screen right now. We've got a convention center category. It has voice chats for anyone who is hosting a panel, as well as to text chats. So that is where some of the panels will be taking place, but others will be taking place on people's YouTube channels. So you'll just have to kind of look at the schedule, because we've got a link for each of them with opening ceremonies. It links to the LooneyCon YouTube channel. My bad. Should have linked to my YouTube channel. The reason I'm streaming to my YouTube channel is so that it can kind of hopefully reach more people. But yeah, that's just at the Looney Turtle on YouTube. So there's that. We've also got Hidden Canadian Gems by Dragon Booster up next. He's going to be over on the Discord channel in Panel Room 1. That'll be hosted by our guest liaison, Cruiser. And we will also be starting our Jackbox around the same time with Ricky Ray. So there's a full schedule for all 3 days. We've got plenty of things going on if you're interested. Fallout Equestria, we've got writing panels, like one is about comedy. We've got some music and so on. And I've tried to make this schedule as neat as possible. So we've got, of course, the times are standard right here on the schedule. And it should tell you every big change. There will be a new time listed. So, yeah, that's kind of the neatness of the schedule. Hopefully it's easy to navigate, and then everything on our schedule will be in mountain time, so you'll simply want to use your time zone as listed here. Look at what time it would be in your mountain time, and then you can see the conversion to other time zones. I think this is a very handy tool to have. So yeah, that's currently what we've got. We've also got a special guest for you this time around, Lee Tockar.
Hello there. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all well. I'm really happy and excited to be part of this, to the fourth LooneyCon. The reason I got involved when I was asked is because I'm very fond of Western animation, and apparently you also, all of you, are here because you are fellow appreciators. So that is skookum. But anyway, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend. We've got a full docket of my appearances and stuff, and I hope you have a good time. And and thanks for having me here. This is really an honor. I'm a little nervous. I got some butterflies. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've done hundreds of conventions, from New York to Cincinnati to Philadelphia to Los Angeles to everywhere, Toronto, and thousands and thousands of people, and I sit in front of them, and all I have to do is open my mouth and talk into a little foam ball. But this is different because this is I think it's my fifth Zoom call ever in the world. So I'm just kind of catching up to the kindergartners, because they do this all the time. So I'm a little out of my wheelhouse here, but I'm sure I've got a good start on it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident, and I just want to try and make this as entertaining for all of y'all as possible.
Yeah. And over the weekend, we've got 3 panels planned with Lee Tockar. This is the first major one. And then tomorrow, we will be doing Jackbox games with him. We'll be playing Quiplash 2. He's seemed to enjoy that one so far.
I do like it. It's brand new to me.
Yeah.
I've never, I'm not a gamer. I create things. I don't like play games usually, but this one's fun, so I like
Yeah.
it.
And then on Sunday, we'll have Lee Tokar's masterclass where we'll discuss some of his projects, explore his studio, and overall discover some of the techniques and tricks that you've found over the years. So, aside from that, we've also got a couple of things we were offering on our Etsy, um, including, give me a sec, I'm pulling it up. Including Zoom calls with Lee, so you can have a kind of one-on-one with him. Of course, I'll be present to kind of mediate, make sure he is on the Zoom, able to navigate it, as well as making sure you're able to connect if you choose to purchase the Zoom call. We've also got the option to buy a player pass, so you can play Jackbox with Lee and have some fun with the Quiplash games, as well as shout outs from Lee. So if you want to shout out over
Any of my voices, whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
then you have the option to do that over on our Etsy. And I tried to make this easier to get to for most people. Before I had all of our social media icons on the bottom of the website, which was kind of out of the way. So I've put them at the top in the hopes of making it easier to find and see. Also, the website is now mobile friendly, so if you want to check out LooneyCon.com, it should be pretty easy to navigate. So there we go with that. That it pretty much puts aside. There's one more thing I wanted to bring up then. Right now, we have recently opened our vendor hall for 2021, and there's plenty of vendors that you can check out, including the Traveling Pony Museum, RGB Creative Studios, Stone Studios, That One Pink Dog, Safi's Art, I can't pronounce that one. Faut Barb. Faut Barb? Then there's Curious Octopus, Samoth Lion, Fiora the Tank Girl, Moonbeam Designs, Alien Kitty has yet to kind of set up properly, and then there's Remy Plushies, Corey's Corner, and Kensu of Dragons. So we've got plenty of vendors giving away, selling, vending their stuff. So check out their wares. It's very important to support the vendors, especially with the year that we've just had. So with that, let's talk a little bit more on your career, Lee.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I'm full of answers.
yeah. So where did you kind of start in the realm of voice acting?
Sure. Well, it all really started with Western Animation with Mel Blanc, with Warner Brothers. So when I was a little like a toddler, I was living with my grandma and grandpa and their 5 kids. My mom was young, and so she had me at a young age, and so I lived with I was the youngest out of all the siblings, but I was really the nephew or the son, and or the grandson. But my Uncle Davies take me out of the crib every day and sit me in front of the TV to watch Bugs Bunny. And one day he took me out of the crib and he accidentally hit my head against the door frame. And I knew that I was going to go watch cartoons. So I think that just sort of hit in my head. It just stuck in my head. Cartoons is really important somehow, or painful. I don't know. But, but I fell in love with Bugs Bunny and Mel Blanc. And when I realized at a later age that he did all of the voices, all the male voices. I don't know if he did. I think he did Porky Pig too, but there's one other voice I don't think he did. But June Foray did all of the female voices, and so I was like, wait, what? Hold on, one guy does that? And so I started doing that when I was a little kid. I started doing stand up and and talent shows, and I started to do Bugs Bunny, yeah, what's up there, Doc,
Yeah.
But I was just a kid, so it was a lot cuter because it was terrible. But when a kid does something terrible, it's like, oh, it's so
It's
cute. Oh,
endearing.
oh, but when you're an adult, you do it bad, you're like, yeah, that's cringy. Anyway, so so yeah, I was into animation at a very, very early age, and later on, I used to go when my mom moved out and got married and took me with her. Obviously, I would go back every Sunday and every Saturday morning, and I would sit in front of the same TV and I would watch Saturday morning cartoons, and that just stuck in my head. And I just decided. Mom was walking me down the street, Bernard Avenue in Kelowna, British Columbia, and she said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a cartoon." And she's like, "Oh no, he's got to have therapy. I guess
Yeah.
it's something wrong with my child." But it's the truth, and I did want to, and I've been very fortunate because I've known what I wanted since I was just knee high to a grasshopper, as they say. So cartoons has been my whole life. I have written for animation, for League of Super Evil, for Yamroll, for a bunch of stuff. I've been in 8,000 episodes, 2 Leo Awards, 1 Emmy nomination, an Alan Award that I got. Like, this is humble brag stuff. I don't say this stuff to anybody, but I just sort of, you asked me a question, so I'm answering. The Alan Award was given to me by Seth MacFarlane, and for George of the Jungle, I played George of the Jungle. And when I got backstage, he goes, "Way to go, Lee! I really like your stuff." I'm like, "You don't know me. You're Seth MacFarlane."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, no, I totally know you. I totally know your work." He said, "Sorry, I kind of smell like bourbon right now." And he had this big mug of bourbon. And I said, "Oh, can I smell like bourbon?" So we split his big glass of bourbon, and I was like, "I'm never gonna wash this liver again." So it's just been a wonderful career and a wonderful life. Cartoons has been so good to me. Um, I've met some of my best friends at some of the conventions I've gone to, and I will never forget them. And they're still my friends to this day. I have an ex-fiance that I met uh, at a convention, and she had never been to a convention before. It was a pony convention in St. Louis, and and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, this is a brony convention." And she said, what's happening here?" And so I like the fact that she was totally innocent. And it's hard to get to know people when I know that they're fans, because I don't know what they want from me. But nothing she wanted from me. She was completely like discombobulated over the whole issue. And so I've made some great friends. I've met some wonderful people. I've had some wonderful experiences. So there's really nothing bad I have to say about animation. And even today, I'm in 3 cartoons right now. The only bad thing is with this pandemic, of course, that we don't get to go in as an ensemble cast anymore.
Yeah.
So we have to go one at a time, and it takes longer to go to get a cartoon made. So there's not as many in a month. So it's like definitely a financial hit that way. But the worst part of it all is I don't get to play with my friends in the studio. My other little talk monkeys, I call them. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I've heard that there's a couple of voice actors that have just been doing the voice acting remotely. Like I have a
yeah,
friend named Izzy Lizzie Freeman. She
yeah,
does voice acting for a lot of cartoons, animes, that kind of thing, and she's been doing her voice acting remotely. So
yeah. Yeah. If you have something called Source Connect or ISDN cables, you can do it remotely. All of my auditions these days, or like 99.9% of them, are done in my back studio while I'm in my pajamas. So Like,
Isn't
if
that
I'm
the dream?
I don't need to leave my house. What the heck? So a lot of the stuff, and then I hear about them later, and they said, "Oh, Lee, you got the part." I'm like, "Oh, I was wearing my lucky pajamas that day." So, so, and then we go into the studio, but there were only one at a time. And then when we're finished our business, we leave, and then the engineer comes in a hazmat suit and sprays everything down and gets rid of all the particulate matter of desperate actor lingering in the air.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So if a live chat would like to ask any questions of Lee, you're more than welcome to. I'll read them to him and make sure he's in the know. Um, so do you think that the pandemic has definitely had an impact on voice acting overall?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, no more ensemble casts. We don't get to play with each other because the director usually has us do one scene at a time, where we get to play across and with each other, and and then he'll give the notes, and then we do it again for the real take.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get to play with each other anymore. There's not even phone patch right now. The only phone patches, like my only experience with other people in the studio, is I'll be talking into my microphone, and over here is a music stand with a little GoPro or a little camera, clipped to the top of it. And so I have to direct. So after the takes, I direct that, because that's the director, the show director, the voice director, the show director, and usually a producer or a
Yeah.
writer. And so I'm like, "Hi, little tiny thing on that stand. That's not a human being." You know,
Yeah.
it's really orienting
Kind
not
of like
to
right
have
now,
that.
we're just talking to cameras at the end of the day.
I know. And regardless of how many people are on here right now at the opening ceremonies, I'm glad that there's some interest in all that stuff. But I'm glad we're recording this, and I will help to promote it. And if anybody's watching this, get the link from Eric or from from his channel, and post it, repost it, and publish it. Because I mean, this is a fledgling. I mean, this is number 4, is it?
Yes, this is the fourth LooneyCon. We had 3 last year, and this one is the only one that we'll
Yeah.
be having this year.
Well, I'm very honored and privileged. But for anybody that is watching, repost it, share it, and because we want to make these. This is a really valid convention. I love the theme of it, and I like the principle behind Western animation. That's very rare. That's not done usually. This is a very particular way of looking at a particular brand of animation, which I personally am in love with.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tex Avery and Warner Brothers, that's and anything nerdcore. I mean, that's my whole jam.
Yeah. One of the questions that came to mind when you were talking about being in the studio and bouncing off of other voice actors was the idea of kind of improving new lines into the dialogue of a show. Have you ever been able to, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
a beautiful interaction with another voice actor that ends up getting put in the show even though it wasn't in the script?
yeah, yeah. I go off script so much because I did 15 years of stand-up comedy. So and it's actually bit me in the bum a couple of times, because I've been in the studio, and I'm like, if you don't mind, I've rewritten this line to make it funnier. And then I realized that later that the writer was in the room, and he was like, "Oh, so I'm not funny enough for you. I don't like this stuff. Get anybody out."
Yeah.
So
Do
it's
do
kind
you
of
have
bit me in
any
the bum.
examples of, like, one of those moments happening, like one that you really stuck with you?
Um, okay, so for example, like when I was doing Nerdcore's League of Super Evil, and I played Dr. Frog, he was always getting hurt somehow,
Yeah.
pinched through the air, or squished, or squashed, or this or that, and it was actually a really funny line. They kept it in, and one time, for some reason, I don't know. I never know the reason. He's always getting thrown through the air. So I'm like, yeah, and he lands, and he's like, oh, I landed on my keys. Like these little things that I'm just like, that would be funny. And so I don't know if you could see it, but I don't have a filter on my mouth. So whatever I think immediately spews out of my mouth hole.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's said now, it's out there. It's okay.
Yeah. And
So
with the cartoons, what?
they let me get away with it.
Yes, that's good. With the cartoons that you've done, this question is actually from Cruiser. Uh, is there any cartoon that you've done that you think should have gotten more attention?
Oh, um, uh, yeah. I mean, I wish a lot of them would have made another season. Cruiser, thank you for asking. By the way, welcome. Um, uh, Gee whiz. I mean, there's so many. I think I wish that Slug Terra would have gone longer. I really wish that could have gone on a little bit more. And I think Johnny Test is still going to be going.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I never want them to end. You know,
Yeah.
I know I don't ever want them to end. Yakety Yak went on for quite a while. George of the Jungle went on for quite a while. League of Super Evil, I would have loved for that to keep going. That was so fun.
Yeah.
But I think my general consensus is here is that I wished all of them could keep going, because I'm only involved as usually. I'm very rarely playing an evil character. I'm always the comic foil,
Yeah.
because I'm a forgive the word, but I'm a silly bugger. You know,
Yeah. Kind of like Bling Bling Boy.
the UK term. So they know him as Lee. He's the silly guy. So with the funny voices, and so all of them that I've been in, um, they put me in because they needed somebody like me, and I have added to them because I thought that they were worthy. I've passed up so many cartoons that I was just like, this sounds like a flop. So
Yeah.
although I'm a whore for the cash, don't get me wrong. I'm a typical voice actor. It's like I do it for the money, but I don't want to be part of something that I don't like, a franchise I don't like.
Hmm.
I don't know really. I think that Cruiser, that's a really hard question to answer. So my blanket answer is all of them. I wish all of them would have gone longer. All because the ones that I cared about and that were that got notoriety, they got notoriety not just because of me and the other actors or the director, but because of the writing. The writing was awesome, and I'm a writer as well. As you can see, this is all my writing here.
Nice.
Look at that. That's my little bust of Charles Dickens. He comes with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hey, Charles. Yes.
Yes.
I really don't know what he sounds like, so I don't want to make one up.
We've also got a question from Solus Azriel.
Celeste?
Azriel, I think.
Azariel? Okay.
Yeah. Out of your friends, what do you think was the most of a joy to work with? Who was the funnest person to work with?
Now, that's going to offend a whole bunch of people if I narrow it down to one. But thank you and welcome, Celeste. Hi, welcome. I really enjoy playing with. I'll tell you who. I'll tell you my top ones.
Oh boy, get ready for the Twitter drama.
I don't have a one. I can't narrow it down to one. Brian Drummond, Tabitha St. Germain, Richard Ian Cox, Sam Vincent. Those are they're the most funny people in town to me. And that's just off the top of my head. There's more. There's way more. Oh, and Michael Adamthwaite. He's hilarious. So I got it down to one hand. This hand is just as important. And I love all of these little piggies. All of them, little top monkeys, all of them, I love them. But these ones are the ones that I play with and I have the most fun with.
Yeah.
You know,
So we've also got a question.
Don't tell anybody else that I work with because they're going to be like, how come I didn't make your one hand list, you bastard?
We've also got a question from Nina LaFay. What's your favorite
Nina or
improv
Nina?
line?
Nina or Nina?
Nina. Nina.
Okay, Nina. And what's the question? Hi, Nina. Welcome.
Yes. What's your favorite improv line?
Oh, well, I don't really. I don't really have a favorite improv line. That's why it's called improv. You never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't really, Nina, I don't know. I'm going to have to take a mulligan on this one, man.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have a favorite improv line, can you? I mean, I've never been into improv, so I'm just used to opening my mouth and letting stuff fall out, which is
Yeah.
kind of improv, but that's spontaneous, and there's no line that sort of sets me off or puts me in that mode or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but I thank you for the question, Nina. I wish I had a better answer for you.
Well, that's all right because they've actually given us another question. Same
Yep.
person, Nina LaFay. What's the biggest thing that helped you improve your improv?
Oh, oh, oh! I know.
And then Cruiser chimes in saying, besides Dragon Booster.
Oh, I know. The thing that helped me with my improv is abject fear. Because everybody's looking at me and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, be funny now, faster, better, more funny. And I'm like, yeah. So abject, so fear and gusto. That's what's helped me. And you know what really helps is if you're playing with people that are also very funny, not just funny, but they think funny. And I'd like to believe that I think funny. But these people, like the aforementioned, even on this hand, they're not in that studio for no reason. They're in there because they're talented people,
Yeah.
and all of them are just like so silly. So I that's what's helped me is to be around people as funny or more funny than me, because it's like the 10,000 hour rule, or like when you're a pilot, you need to have so many hours in the air before you can get your license. Um, when you're in the studio for 8,000 episodes, and you're usually around the same crowd, the same usual suspects, you start to get to know them, and you get to know their patterns, and you get to know their mind, and you know that if you throw something at them, they're going to throw it right back, and that is what inspires my brain. That's what clicks me over. But good question, Nina. Thank you. That was excellent. I think I answered that one. The first one I sucked at. Sorry, don't listen to the first one, but that one was okay.
Yeah. We've also got a question from Invisibrony. What was your favorite TV show as a child?
Animated?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Invisibrony, my favorite TV cartoon was obviously Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. It was like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour. That
Yeah.
was my favorite. And there was also some other ones, but they were, and nothing compares. Nothing compares. That was my gold standard. You know. Actually, if you wait, can I away from keyboard for like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
All right.
Stand by.
I guess while we're at it, I'll say hello to everyone in the chat as well. Kenny Vergas, as well as Soulless Cruiser, Invisibrony, Crazy Fox, HB Strong, Kenny Vergas again, Nina LaFay. Good to see all of you. Glad you could all come around and enjoy this opening ceremony. And of course, give some questions for Lee. It's really nice that
Okay.
we've got that engagement going on. So here
Okay,
he
well,
is again.
that was disappointing. What I was going to show you is somewhere. I thought it was in my cupboard, but I must have put it away with my important mementos. But I have a little Bugs Bunny mug, and it's him eating a carrot, looking all cool. And I
Yeah.
got that when I was a little boy, and I've had it ever since. It's one of my, other than my teddy bear, which I could show you, but that's okay. I still have him. But other than my teddy bear, my Bugs Bunny mug is sacrosanct. It is like my favorite thing. I probably will be buried with it,
Yeah.
unless I'm cremated. Yeah,
Yeah. Cremation is an option.
yeah, let's talk about that. That's a really good idea. Gosh, I'm sorry, you guys.
So Invisibrony's question actually had a part two.
Oh, it is a bone. All right.
Yes. The
Yeah.
part two is and now. So your favorite TV show back in the day, as well as your favorite TV
Oh,
show
my
now.
favorite animated TV show now. Um, well, I still love watching. It's got to be Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Gotta be. I actually met the show director because it's done here at Bardell Studios.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's done at Bardell Studios just by Granville Island in Vancouver here. And I walked it because my buddy Mo Sherwood, he was a storyboard artist, and he asked me if I wanted to come down there and take a tour of the studios. And he said, "This is where we make Rick and Morty." I'm like, What?" So he introduced me to the show director, the animation director. And I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah.
I just love Rick and Morty. It's so stupid. But that's my favorite new one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another question from HB Strong, probably a quick one. Do you like D&D?
HB Strong, hello and welcome and great question. And yes, I do. I had a character, but I haven't played for a long time because of my eyesight. RPG is just too hard for my eyes to follow the dice and stuff. Um, but when I was a teenager, for about 5 years, I played D&D. And I was a magic user, a very high level magic user called Castospel, or Cast a Spell. And I got up to like some stupid level way up there. And the last thing that I did was trick an evil wizard into a castle in the sky and locked him in there because it was a trap. And that was the last thing I did. But yeah, I loved D&D and still do. I mean, I love watching people play it, but the mind is strong, but the eyes are weak.
Ah. And then the next question is actually about me. Why did you not have a pony OC, and why a turtle? And that kind of is a fun question to answer. The short answer is I wasn't in the pony fandom at the time. Long answer is when I made the Looney Turtle, I wanted to have a name that I would like to have 10 years down the line. And at the time, I was heavily into the Minecraft community. So if I were to base my YouTube channel off of Minecraft, it would have been something block related or something like that. So I didn't go that route. I like cartoons, so cartoony, Looney what? Looney, not Looney Tunes. That one's taken. And I found this little statue in my fish tank,
Oh,
and that's kind of when it clicked, where I was like, Looney Turtle. And over the years, I've taken that and kind of ran with it. For the first little while, Looney was just kind of the theming of the channel, but eventually I needed a voice to kind of question me, ask questions. So I brought up Looney, and now he comes in and he's like, Eric, you're wrong in every way.
you're
So
the voice of that. That's great. I thought
yeah.
that was really cute. The commercial that you guys did was fantastic.
Yeah, I've voiced Looney since the beginning. So yeah, he's been a fun character to kind of explore. He's got his own little personality to him, and it's a great character to write.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I have a turtle, is because I wasn't in the pony fandom, and analysis was kind of a secondary thing, not the first thing that I did on YouTube. Let's see what other questions we got. And actually, that answers their later question of who made Looney the Turtle. That was me. I made a couple of. I think he's gone through 4 different revisions over the years. The first one very simple. Second one still pretty simple. The third one is when I started voicing him, and so I made different poses. And then the fourth one was designed by an artist named Starship Pizza. They drew the character, and then I made him in Flash and animated him from there. So yeah, it's been pretty fun with that character. Let's see, what were the other questions? Oh, any new projects that you're working on that you can mention, Lee?
Yes, absolutely.
This one's from Solus Azrael again.
Oh, Celeste, hello, Celeste again.
Yes.
Um, we have to keep meeting like this.
Yes. But also it's Solus, like without a soul.
Oh, Solus, not Celeste.
Yes, Solus.
Oh, Solus. It's even cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Dark and empty inside. I like that.
It's
That's my kind of people.
yeah, I think
Um,
he got that name partially because of a independently made game called Undertale.
okay,
Yeah, he's got a goat character as his main representation online. He's a good friend.
brilliant. Well, hi, Solus. Um, again, but using your proper name. I have loads of projects. I'm working on something called The Grim Possession of Chesterfield Couch. The movie is finished, and it is on the desk with Industry Works, who did the Von Helsing series, Netflix affiliates, and this whole thing is taking me 12 years. And I just finished the novel, which is on the desk of my new editor, Quinn Bender, and so I'm waiting for him to finish that. I'll be seeing him tonight, and he's probably either going to make an excuse and just, say, "Oh no, it's coming, it's coming. I promise it's coming," or he's going to hand me over my manuscript. So I've got that, and then over here I've got my Billy Brainrain series, which is a rhyming adventure of a little boy. As he grows up, he has it's 4 books and 4 audio books. And I have Michael Richard Plowman, who is one of the best composers other than Daniel Ingram. And there's a couple others in town that I know as well, but I've only worked with Daniel. And there's Hal Beckett, and there's Chris Oliver. But these 4 guys, they're amazing. But Michael Plowman, Michael Richard Plowman, he's done so many cartoons. Like you will know his music when you hear it.
Yeah.
And he and I got on like a house on fire, and so he took it upon himself to do all of the audio bed, all of the music bed for Billy Brainrain's Nighttime Alphabet, Billy Brainrain and the Incredible Everywhere Rope, Billy Brainrain and the Government Cover-Up Toy Closet, and Billy Brainrain and the Super Secret Staircase. And so he's taken it on to do all of those, and they sound just brilliant, And so those are my 2 main projects. I also have something called Action Thing and Super Blah, which is a little cartoon. It's very stupid. Yeah, I wanted to make it the worst writing ever written. It's like, don't fear, Super Blah. I have a very important plan and stuff.
Yes, important.
There's lots of and stuff or and things, and stuff like that. And Super Blah, he only gets halfway through a sentence. Is look, look at what's happened. You've saved the world, and never mind. He's just sort of, he just so doesn't care about anything. And I have lots of art projects as well. So I'm constantly doing artwork. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a patron video or go to my YouTube channel, the official Lee Tockar YouTube channel, and you'll see there's a patron appreciation video, and that's with some of my paintings, and I'm working on some more. So between writing, carving, acting, and painting, as long as I'm doing one of those things every day, I'm happy. If I don't, I think that I've died a little inside.
Oh.
Soulless, I think you can appreciate that. So, just get really like a bear.
Yeah. So we've also got another question from Cruiser. Do voice actors ever get a say in the script or storyboard?
Not the storyboard, no. The storyboard happens between the designer, goes to the design goes to the storyboard artist. No, the design goes the script goes to the design, goes to the storyboard artist, goes to the animation director, goes to the voice director, and we don't really get a say until we see the script in session, and then we can say, can I just do this as an A and a B take? So I'll do it the way you want, but then can I just try something? And usually, well, they do with me anyway. They're just like, okay, yeah, be stupid, go ahead. Oh, that's fine. You usually come up with something idiotic. So, so yeah, then every once in a while they'll let you go off the script, but most of the time they're like, read it as written, please.
Stop trying your improv on us.
Yeah, exactly. They're paying the bills. So I'm like, okay, sir, okay, ma'am.
And then Rockstar Raccoon asked, did you meet Roiland, like the Rick and Morty creator?
No, I really wished I would have. I know people that know them. I always say I don't know people, but I know people who know people.
Yeah.
So,
that's the important thing. You know people that also know people.
I'm like third degrees from what, Kevin Costner, or what? No, what is it? 3 degrees from, what's that?
Adam something, I think.
No, it's like Kevin Costner or something, or Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, yes.
Patricia's, she's on a Zoom call of her own. So she's like looking down here. She's like, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know I'm affiliated with a lot of. I have met some really amazing, like famous people. Jim Cummings, I met him, and that's a whole other story I can do with a Q&A at another time. Maurice LaMarche, I worked with him tons. He does The Brain with Pinky and the Brain, and I definitely want to meet Frank Welker, because people call me the Frank Welker of Canada because I do so many animal voices. And what do I do today, Brian? I just do all these things that are right in his range, right? And so, but I've met some amazing people, but no, not the Rick and Morty creator. But if he's out there and someone knows him, tell him to contact me. I would love to talk to him.
All right. And then there was a little bit of a back and forth in the chat about Solus's name. Invisibroni said, I thought it was Solus like the sun. And Solus responded with, Solus is Latin for alone, if that helps. So we at least have a little bit more on that. What?
It's Latin for what?
Alone, if that helps.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, so everybody in the pandemic is Solus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And then there's another question from Kenny Vargas. I'm probably butchering the last name, but Kenny is easy to pronounce.
Hi,
They're asking again from me, hey Looney, what was your first review that you did, and which projects were fun and which ones were hard? So the first MLP analysis video that I made was about a Canterlot wedding and the possibility for Twilight and her friends to just be removed completely from those episodes. It was just a thought that came to my head, and it kind of works. What?
Was that the 100th episode when there was the wedding?
No, it was a Canterlot wedding where Cadence was first introduced.
Oh, okay.
And Chrysalis was first introduced.
Oh.
Yeah. What? What?
My secret is that I have only watched a few full episodes of My Little Pony.
Yeah, that.
So, it's just I like the ones I did see, but
Yeah.
I'm not one of those actors that watch the things that I do. I just it's kind of cringy for me. I'm like, I know what I sound like. I have fun in the studio. I have fun in the studio, but I don't want to go home and watch me do something I've already done.
Yeah.
Like, why am I watching this? Is this what my life has been reduced to? I need that self-fulfillment, to like that self-gratification. Oh, look how popular I'm on TV.
Look at my amazing.
I'm not that. I'm a little blind kid from Paytown, man. And my family would be like, "I see you're getting a little big for your britches, there, son." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. Don't worry, don't worry." I keep in touch with them every once in a while just to let them know I'm not in jail.
Yeah. But to answer the last part of that question, which projects were fun? I'd say all of the collabs I've done. It's always interesting working with new people, seeing what they bring to the table. And then which ones were hard? Just the solo projects, putting them together. The FNAF videos were aggravating because of how much the lore to that series just changed and adjusted, and how I had to adjust my theories to boot. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's also kind of LooneyCon is a project technically, and that's been a an interesting experience, learning kind of where I should improve, what I need to do here and there to kind of put together an online convention. It's very similar to a real convention, just significantly less costs and significantly less labor.
No overhead.
Yeah. And then 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Somebody caught that. What was your most sentimental role that you played?
For me,
Yes, this one's for you.
okay. The most sentimental role I played. Okay, I don't have that, but I will give you the most touching moment I've ever had in my experience in animation. I played Bibble in the Barbie series. This little flying puffball is like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I went to the Toronto fan con. It's like thousands and thousands of people. And I was there for Slugterra, and I was brought there by Nerdcore. And at the booth, a mother and father came up to me at the booth with this little girl, like just a little girl. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm serious. It's just so amazing. And they said, "Can you please? She loves Bibble." I always get choked up telling the story. I haven't told it to many people actually, so this is new. They said, "Can you please talk to her in Bibble voice? We drove 200 miles to meet you." She hasn't. The feels.
Yeah, the feels are real.
Anyway, the feels are real. And they said she hasn't smiled in a month. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to question your parental skills as to why that's happening. But I think her name was Annie. And so I'm like, "Oh, Annie, and she smiled. Oh, God, she smiled. And I took a picture of it with my phone. And I have that. And it's the first time she smiled in a very long time. And that, to me, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
That was my most sentimental moment. I have loads of different characters that were sentimental to me to act. I liked Mim Mim, Kaiten Mim Mim. Mim Mim was very, very cute and sweet. But yeah, no, that was, I think nothing can beat, hands down, nothing can beat that moment in my career.
Yeah.
Even Emmy nominations, walking the red carpet, everything. That's nothing. It's nothing. I'm not a celebrityist. I don't care about hardware. I don't care about notoriety. I'm like a unicorn. I'm a unicorn. I'm an actor that doesn't really like to be talked about. So you'll never find that. I want to go in, do my job, and when I get to see some fans or have an experience like that, that just makes my heart full.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So I haven't been in the industry nearly. I haven't gained nearly as much notoriety as you or many of the people that I kind of look up to. But in the minor success that I've had with my YouTube and with the conventions that I've gone to over the years, I have had a couple of moments kind of reminiscent of that. There was one time that I was walking through Pacific PonyCon, and a father had come up to me and was like,
Oh,
"Hey, I know you're probably busy walking somewhere. I was just kind of wandering. I do that a lot. But my son here really likes your content. Really likes what you do, and wanted to take a picture with you. And he was so nervous. But I crouched down and got ready, and we took a picture. And I'd never experienced that kind of thing before. I didn't even think that kids that old would watch my videos, just because it
right.
doesn't seem like a thing that would be done. But yeah, that's one of the moments that I'd say is most sentimental for me, because it was a very
Cool.
nice, very different experience. So yeah,
Yeah. It really is. It really is quite a, a blessed moment, like a rarefied moment, because you realize at that point that something that you're doing in the world is affecting somebody else in the world in a positive way.
yeah,
And I get that so much, not quite as much as that one moment I had, but there's been so many times where people, they feel they know me because I'm in their home, I'm on their television. And so when they talk to me at a convention, they have a very, like, their guard is down, and they're like, they're talking to family or talking to a friend that they've known forever. And sometimes it's alarming to me because I'm like, oh, stranger danger. But I understand, and you know being there for your fans and being there for the people that watch what you do and appreciate, that is a rarefied, beautiful thing, to know that you're that you're impacting the world in a positive way, that you're leaving the world better than the way you found it.
yeah,
It's really amazing to me.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've actually been trying to
I do
find
tend to
a
go on.
yeah. I've actually been trying to find a comment that I saved. Like I took a screenshot and put it in a folder somewhere because it was a pretty impactful image. Impactful comment because it told
Okay.
it was one of my viewers commenting on how they had moved to a new town, gone to a new school, and they weren't really connecting very well with anyone. And they made a reference
Right.
from one of my videos, which I didn't even know was possible.
Cool.
And somebody else reciprocated that joke, and that's how he made friends with someone in his new school. And it was through that whatever meme it was. They didn't tell me what meme it was or what joke or reference it was, but they just said they made a reference to one of my videos and it helped them make friends because they had watching me in common. So that's another story
Mhm.
that could be nice to bring up. I couldn't find the screenshot, but it's
That's awesome.
somewhere.
The YouTube channel has 36,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, 36,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're brilliant. I don't know what you're doing, but you keep doing that.
Yeah. I haven't
You're
uploaded.
doing something right.
Yeah, I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm hoping to change that as the year goes on. So yeah. Um, Cruiser Brony
You
asks,
have decided to sort of
what?
figured it out.
Yeah.
And I said, no, let's listen to Cruiser.
Yes, Cruiser, did you ever get disappointed meeting a voice actor or writer?
Mm, yes. Well, it wasn't a voice actor. It was an actor in the green room. Um, in the green room at the Toronto Fan Con, one of the ones there. I was in the green room, and Leonard Nimoy was there, like Spock, sitting at a table, and I was like, my nerd, I was like squeeing inside, and I'm like, that's
That's the guy!
like, and I just wanted to, do the guy. was the thing. And I was going to go up to his table. He was sitting alone. And there was a girl. Oh, I have a better one than that. But anyway, a girl walked up to him and he totally just slammed her. He slammed her. And I'm like, oh, Spock's a D-bag. This was before he died. Then in the same time, I met Leslie Nielsen. He was so funny and so great and so gracious with his time. But there's one story. There's one story more. I met Rich Little. Now, I was a street kid at the time, before I was ever a voice actor. Okay, I was a group home, foster home kid, street kid in Kelowna. I moved here. I was on welfare and food banks for the first year until I could finally find an agent and did all that. So I was sitting on the street with my buddy Matt, and he goes, "That's Rich Little." I loved Rich Little because he was like my childhood. He was an impersonator. He was on the Muppets, for goodness sakes. And I walked up to him and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Little, Mr. Little," and I followed him for a half a block, which is probably kind of creepy. I get that. Okay. And I said, "Mr. Little, please, I just want to say how great you are." And he turned around and he said, "I can't help you, kid." And I'm like, wow, that
was disappointing.
Away from that one, buddy. Holy, just what a colossal biatch. I tend to swear, but I always keep it PC.
Yeah.
And PG, sort of. So anyway, but I met Maurice LaMarche.
Ooh.
Awesome. So great. Just working with him on the Gadget series stuff. Oh, amazing. And Jim Cummings, meeting Winnie the Pooh. He was so great and so gracious. We had a panel together. We were at my first furry convention. I'd never been to one. We went to AnthroCon, and it was brilliant. And we were in a panel together with a whole auditorium of people. And I've never been able to do Winnie the Pooh, but I studied one phrase. He was not impressed, but everybody else liked it. And so, Lee, do you do me? Do you do Winnie? And I happen to know that he hates people doing Winnie the Pooh. He does not like it. So I was like, I said, "Well, I did practice one phrase." He goes, "Well, let's hear it." And I'm like, "You're gonna hate me." And so it was like, "Oh, Christopher Robin. Oh, Christopher Robin, don't you know, in the 100-acre woods, no one can hear you scream." And everybody died. And he was laughing a little bit, but I could tell he's like, "You SOB."
No.
Yeah, but he was still very gracious with his time with me. And meeting him, I got a little starstruck, and Maurice. I don't get starstruck very often. No. But that's my experience. Was that Cruiser that asked that?
Yes, Cruiser asked that.
Good. I hope that answers your question, Cruiser.
Yeah. And then Cruiser also asked, what was the most uncomfortable role that you played?
My first one.
Your first one, okay. What was that?
It was in Conan the Barbarian. I was a day player. I was a warrior who was blinded by a dragon. And my line was, "I'm blind." Well, I literally am blind, legally blind. And the whole cast was there, and they all knew this because they knew who I was. They're like, "Oh, that's Lee. He's the new voice actor guy in town. I hear he can't see very well." And my buddy Doug Parker, who was a director at the time, and we were working for Wally Burr, who was directing us via phone patch, probably from the Caribbean someplace on a boat with his cabana boy or whatever. But he had something he always liked, which is called the Burshendo, the Wally Burshendo. It's like, everything goes up at the end. And that was the thing, the Burshendo. And so my line was, "I'm blind." And he made me do it 16 times. And one by one, all of the cast would walk around me and leave the room, and they'd put their hand on my shoulder and go, "So sorry." And I'm like, is this the way it's going to be forever? I hate voice acting. This is horrible. And then finally, on the 16th take, my friend Doug Parker, we were drinking buddies, and and he said, Wally Lee actually is blind. And so Wally said, oh, well, that last one was pretty good. And I'm like, it's cut my wrists, like, kill me now. So that was my most uncomfortable. It was my very first experience in a prelay. Horrible. But you know what? What doesn't kill you? And I came back stronger, and I never had to declare my visual handicap ever again. Anyway, good question. Hope that answered your question, and I hope you feel as uncomfortable as I did.
Yeah. So with that, I think I'm gonna end the opening ceremonies a little bit early. It's been great talking with you and answering those questions.
Yeah.
We don't currently have any more. We've answered all of the questions that I've been able to see in the comments, which is pretty nice.
Well, it's right on time too, because we're sort of ending. It's an hour long session. This has gone over just a little bit, but thank you to all the people that asked the questions, that were here in attendance and commented and took the time out of your day to be part of my day and Eric's day. And
Yeah.
please, when you get this as a recording and a link, please share it. You know, I want to see this con do well. I'm a big proprietor for like the underdogs and the new people, because we've all been fledglings at one point or another, and this is the fourth one, so this is great. And thank you for letting me participate, Eric.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. You've been a joy so far.
Oh, great. Oh, grand. Glad to help. I'm just, I turn me on, I'm automatically silly. So
Alrighty.
yeah.
Yep. So I'll see you later today. Because we've got a Zoom call. Somebody purchased that.
And I think I'm talking to you guys at 1:00 about this, just refamiliarizing myself with the game that's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then 3 to 4 p.m. the Zoom meeting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those things.
Yeah. So
The whole weekend I'm looking forward to.
yeah. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you in the next couple of live streams. Next up, we've got Jackbox. Ricky Ray appears to be starting that in the LooneyCon channel, so you can hop over there. And then I think the second panel will be with Cruiser. He's going to be talking about Dragon Booster, a hidden Canadian gem. So look forward to that.
I played Parmesan in that.